Hello, everybody, first of all. Alright, let's see. What were we doing? Check our quest log. I think said we were going to get through the last few quests in Chapter 1 today, and then skip off to Chapter 2. This may be the last day of easy mode, because I think you guys get the point. I have spent virtually no time working on my settlement, and it's developing just fine. I'm curious where some of these city plans are in their progress. Let's pop in here and check. 75% on the time component. Okay. Yeah, see, we're zipping through so fast with the quests, we're not even giving enough time for the settlements to upgrade. But this one's almost ready to pop. Let's actually give it some more build limit. Actually, what I should do is just turn off acknowledge build limit, because I don't care about that. What was I looking for? Performance. There we go. Turn off respect build limit. There we go. So now our city plans will level up even if we're at the build limit. Let's see, yeah, we are using RC, cool. So when this thing, let's see how hard or how close is this one? 62%, okay, cool. Alright, so Sanctuary definitely gonna be the first one to pop. I guess when we're fast traveling around here, we'll eventually we're just passing time, so we'll eventually get one to pop. Let's see here, yep, ROTC, and now I wanna check the percentage on the HUD. 54%, okay. So yeah, we're still, I think we can figure the further it is from the corner, the further behind it's going to be. I think that makes sense. Okay, we're kicking off with a bang here, fighting some blood bugs. About to walk into the gunners and get my butt kicked. This is what we're calling easy mode, where I have basically all of the management functions of sim settlements turned off, and we're just playing with kind of like everything is free, everything is automatic. The only requirement really to make things happen in easy mode is time. Literally, you just play, wait for timers, and stuff happens. And that's what we're playing. So you can kind of show how much more you can focus on just the core Fallout 4 gameplay loop and just, you know, kind of intersperse with building the occasional city planner plot. So that is the goal of this playthrough. I've shown basically how easy the settlement mechanics are. I'm sure today we're going to get a few city plans to pop off their levels. Required no, I didn't have to, you know, go change any plot types or anything. It's just going to happen. And I think that's kind of what I wanted to show you guys. And so we're going to do the next two quests, which will get us to where we have city plans and city leaders introduced, and so then that kind of covers the full gameplay loop of the plot system. Then we are going to use the cheat commands, because I'm sure some of you guys don't even know about those, and we'll skip ahead to HQ, and then I'll show you guys what HQ looks like by default now in easy mode. And then that, I think, will end the easy mode playthrough.
Protect and serve.
Good work killing the red roaches. Idiot savant. Put something sticky on it. Oh no, you ate all your gummy gum. Oh, that's hilarious. I've never seen that before. I had no idea that was in the mod. Let's see if there happens to be... we really should plant some gum. Just like leave it on the counter or something. Feral dwarves, of course. Chapter 3. That turns out to be the real villain. They're behind the gunners. The feral dwarf army underground. And the feral dwarves are going to turn out to be the Dwemer. It's going to turn out to be them. And then we take Jake to Skyrim. And then we also do a rocket ship and launch into space. And we can take him to Starfield. And then we don't know that Skyrim and Fallout 4 aren't in the same universe. Could be.
Maybe you're right.
Turo, you were asking about SS2 failing to start. Usually it means that you had a lot of mods loading up at startup, or it can happen from a lot of Creation Club content. And basically, when too many quests, and quests don't necessarily mean like, you know, a thing with an objective. Quests are what runs basically the whole game. And if too many quests start up at the same time, then some of them will just fail to start or get delayed. So if you get that pop-up from SS2 where it says it failed to start on time, what you'd want to do is basically do your save over without SS2 enabled. So like leave Workshop Framework, but disable SS2, Chapter 2, any add-on packs. Start your game, get through character creation, and, you know, play through some of the intro, then install SS2, and then you shouldn't get that pop-up anymore. Oh, is this the person that just sells... Do they sell cats?
Best scrap in the Commonwealth, right here.
Or is this just a cat lady that sells
Let's see what you have.
I'm interested in cat bowls, yeah. I'm interested in... I really just need stim packs. Cat meat. Ooh. Interesting. So you're a cat farmer, I guess. I guess that's a thing that would happen. Yeah, the stingwings and the mines over here it's very difficult to solve problems like that because all that stuff is set up as dynamic respawn. And so we can't access it directly. We have to do it with a script. By the time the area loads for us to grab the stuff with a script, they've already engaged with it. So it's almost like the only way we could fix this would be to patch it. This would be one of those things where we'd basically need to make a vanilla edit, which we never do. Everything we've put in the game is additive. We don't ever edit or delete things, but I'm happy to do that with a patch. So I think that the other one that would need the same treatment is there's a random encounter that can trigger over by where Old Paul has you meet up with the raiders. And then a lot of times when you go to those raiders, they'll be fighting random enemies. So that would be another spot we could use a patch. The third one is when you meet up outside the battle for Gunner's Plaza. I think it was a car showroom or something, but there's another random encounter there. So all those, we could probably just make a single patch to just handle it for all three. And then any for future chapters as well. That would be doable.
Anyone who thinks they're up to the task, step forward and make yourself known. I'll go first. What the?
That step forward is so janky, but it's so Bethesda. When I got that working here, I'm like, it looks awkward, but man, does it fit in a Bethesda game.
I know I may not look like much, but
when we wrote it, I think it was originally designed, I think it was going to be either Sunshine or Everywhere. I don't remember how we came to that list, but there was a lot of discussion before we got to that list of settlements. I think we wanted one that was, we wanted to make sure it was one in the Commonwealth. We didn't want to give 100% open choice because we didn't want ones where it was likely you would cause problems with quests. So the city plans themselves may have been part of the decision about what stuff was in the city plan. Now I've talked about this before, but I'll mention it again because I'm sure a lot of people, when they see the multiple cinematic modes happening, wondering why that happens. There's city plans. And that popping in and out of workshop mode, also a little quirk. So some of these are workarounds. So for example, in order to build wires dynamically, you can see those wires appearing, the player has to have been in workshop mode once. And if they haven't, and we try and run the wires, just nothing happens instead. That's why we hopped in a workshop mode. And then the fact that you get pulled into camera mode twice is because the city plans are actually a series of a dozen workshop framework layouts. The city plans are so much faster in SS2 than they were in SS1 because the layout code was written to be hyper fast. And part of that is the camera system is triggered when a layout starts. And so if you pull out of the camera and then another layout starts, then it'll pull you back into the camera because they're kind of tied together.
Hey,
Well, would you look at that? The ASIMs worked exactly as you said.
Did you clear the ghouls and roaches? I didn't, so I'm gonna go see if they're still there, or because yeah, then maybe we just have it set up that it just runs the city plan and just takes the settlement. That might be how we have it set up, and we just kind of ignore the issue of the fact that some of those places might have creatures. Maybe that's what we did, assuming that well, while you're flying around in the sky, Stodge and company will just murder whatever enemies are there. So settlements are a special case. It's actually shockingly easy to kill off enemies at the start of settlements. They're all actually flagged as if they're settlers, and so you can actually just run a command to fetch all the settlers before you have people there and just kill them. And but yeah, it does not look like we're doing that. I think we just left it and just are Stodge and all these people will take care of them. That's the end of that quest. So I guess, so you guys can see the quest line can go pretty quick because we didn't spend much time dinking around. So what always shocks me playing through this is how long it takes to play through it. Not as a negative, but just that we got that much content in quest-wise. Because this is 6 episodes where I played, a full 90 minutes. I mean, some of it was me dying and playing the vanilla game, but still pretty sizable playthrough. This isn't even all of chapter 1. This was 3/4 of it. So we're gonna skip ahead now. We're gonna do a quest skip. So if you ever wondered where this is, basically at any time during the quest, although, we got Shandy we triggered. Hey, buddy.
well, hello.
Hey, I got a message for you.
The best time to skip quests using this command. So the cheat command system is not perfect, and a lot of people have run into some issues, like some objective markers you won't get. I've heard that certain quests, if you skip, certain things won't appear, and that's just got to go on our bug list to fix eventually. But what I've found is generally, if you quest skip at the very beginning of a new quest, it's usually fine. So let's go here. We're gonna run the holotape. City manager, here we go. Tools, cheats, and quest skipping, and then we're gonna go skip ahead to specific main quest, and then this runs after you close Pip-Boy. Okay, so we're gonna skip ahead to Commonwealth Rising, because that will give us access to the doctor stuff too. So then what happens is you'll start getting items, you'll start getting quests completed. It actually treats it like you actually went through and played all the quests. You also get all the XP and stuff. So the other benefit, not only in being able to skip past stuck quests, but it's also a way if you had like a save bug out on you, or if you just got tired of playing through the intro and you want to skip ahead. Like when Chapter 3 comes out, if you've played through Chapter 1 and 2 before and you're like, I don't trust my old save, but I also would like to just get right to the new stuff, you'll be able to use this. And then this happens occasionally. If there was a major choice moment, it would let you choose what you did, so that way future stuff, if it references it, will have what decision you would have made. I think we have it set up like the default options are always the completionist option, like the option that gets you the widest possible potential for the future. Because I think that's how most of us prefer to play Bethesda games, is what can we do to see as much content as possible. I think I'm not alone in that. Sure, we'll do Jake's. And allowed to flee. And then at some point we'll get a question about what we want to do about the Nightingales, and we can skip all that too, because the Nightingales ends up being required in order to continue through all of the Chapter 2 main quest stuff. Oh, and there goes Teresa running off to HQ because she knows she's supposed to be a part of it. Okay, now we're getting the pop-ups about HQ, so that's a good sign. I should still be able to do everything remotely. A lot of times when I'm gearing up to test some new stuff, I'll pop in a fresh save and just skip all the way through all the quests and then make a copy of that save, and it's kind of like my vanilla. It's just got SS2 with patch XYZ on it, so that way I can jump back to it whenever I need to check something. That was the other part where I knew I wanted to have this working for Chapter 2, because I thought some people would really love the HQ system and want to be like, okay, I don't really want to play all this stuff before, but I would love to have an HQ to base my character from, and this is the way to do that too. It's like skipping all the way to the end, because you don't have to do that last quest. The ending to Chapter 2 really kind of happens with what we call MQ22. That feels like the ending of Chapter 2, and then the rest of it is just to get you into HQ and give you a toy to play with. So it's like an end game mechanic. The quest skipping lets you kind of start a fresh game from that point. When you're doing this skipping, you'll want to do what I'm doing, which is just hang out and let it run. And then whenever the last quest that you ask it to skip to is done, then that's when you can start fast traveling around and do your thing. But you kind of want to treat this like it's important you don't fast travel. Like you could, technically. I'm sure it would create some number of bugs. Let's see, we're gonna go... Yes, we'll skip them.
Hello. Is this working? An illness that's been going around.
Starting to get all the Nightingale unlocks.
Personnel. It's not too serious. No one's died.
The power distribution room is part of the quest we skipped to. So there's not a quest skip currently for Commonwealth Rising. That will come when we ship the 3.0 patch, because we'll need to be able to skip to Chapter 3. But right now we only set up the quest skips to get up to the last quest. Okay, so we are at HQ. So what I wanted to show you guys in HQ here is kind of like what it's like to build in here. The fact that everything is a little bit simpler. We may run into problems with the fact that I have no supply agreements set up. So let's see what happens. Let's do some cleanup first. First we need more facilities, energy. Oh, Mansfield's got an extinguisher out. Oh, we can watch him. Come on, fight the fire, buddy. Do it. There he goes. Oh, he took it out one shot. Nice work, bud. I haven't tested this in a while, but that's supposed to now turn into a cleanup job. Facilities department should come and sweep that up. And you can also help fight fires too. I think we have an extinguisher right in here.
Hey.
Yeah, here it is. This is a Niher special. You know us, we love our non-weapon weapons. Okay, so generally you should have 7 people when we start, Mala being one of them. And Mala has a high strength, so that the facilities will get a lot of energy. So you should be able to clean some of the rooms, and that's kind of the idea. Now, one of the things that I want to get in the 3.0 patch is some sort of way to show you guys like a key of what rooms have what thing in them. Because like one of your first objectives is build a living quarters, and it's like, well, which one of these can turn into a living quarters? The assumption when we're building this, where people will put out add-on packs like crazy and they'll make living quarters for everything. That didn't happen, and so we're left in the situation where you're just like trying to find a living quarters, which is a bummer. So basically you can come in here and you can just start cleaning rooms. I think all of this is documented on the wiki. What happens is you go to clean the room, and then it'll show you what the room can be used for. So then you can pick it, and if you don't want to pick it and you want to get your energy back, if we instead had canceled it, all we have to do is exit back out, wait 10 seconds or so, and it'll give us back the energy we spent on it. And that way when we pop back in, we'll be able to give them a different task instead. So if I remember correctly, by default in easy mode, we should have the override timers on, which means that doing most actions in HQ takes roughly the same amount of time as it does for a plot to build. So it's real quick. So you can kind of just go to town on this and just experiment. So the idea was you would just be figuring out what's going on in HQ by just poking around this menu and seeing what comes up as an option. Oh, cool. We can turn this bathroom into a living quarters. Let's go for it. We could put Aiden in the women's bathroom, or we could build an actual bathroom. You know what? We got to put Aiden in there. That's hilarious. I didn't know that was an option. This one maybe will be a real bathroom. All right. Earlier we got a pop-up about the fire, and it said that fires and disasters can occur basically when your departments are overworked. And our engineering department is overworked because of our power down there. We're using more power than we're producing. One of our quest objectives right away is to build a power distribution room. If you follow the quest objective, it tells you what room. So here's the power distribution room. Yeah, you can see the objective. But I think the problem and reason that doesn't help particularly is because if you haven't figured out this, or if it's too hard to see, that doesn't help. So when you go into clean, this little thing down at the bottom there is actually like a floor plan of GNN of that floor, but it's really hard to see, and because it spins, it's almost disorienting. This is one of those things where it was going to be really awesome. It was based on the Metroid map in Metroid 64, because I have really fond memories of that game. I remember their map was like this really cool 3D map. It didn't spin though, so like when we were conceptualizing it, it could be in the inventory and look like this. Then you go here and be like, okay, it's the northwest entryway. So like you can come in here and figure out what it is, because that's where the objective is. And then you can exit, go back in and clean the northwest entryway. That was the idea. But that is not intuitive at all. And I still love that system, the way it ended up hacking into what's available for UI. I mean, one of the most challenging parts of HQ was how limiting the UI editing options are in Fallout 4. There's only so many different ways we have where the player can send interaction without actual interaction in the game world. So I like the way that works. The names for the room kind of give you a sense of what they are, like either with cardinal direction or, you know, entryway or bathroom or whatever, and then they change into the type of room you selected. So originally the design of HQ with all these timers and everything was that if you just keep sending more people to HQ, you'll get to do more stuff every day. And then you were meant to go do other stuff. So it wasn't meant to be like a grind it out in one shot, because not only would that get boring of just hyping through those menus all at once, but it would then just make it feel like all you were supposed to do is stay here. We don't want you to spend the next 30 hours of the game in that list of projects window in command mode, because it's not particularly engaging. So it was kind of like, okay, you start a few projects, go out to your settlements, get some people, and then by the time you come back, because of fast travel timers, that those projects would be finished, you'd be ready to give more work not only to your new people, but also to the people that already are at HQ. And so it would become its own little gameplay loop of run out, recruit some more people, pop back in, give everybody some tasks, go back out. So that was the design of the timers. But I think for like general, the way most people play, I always thought the timers were a good way to discourage people from just trying to grind it all out. But in practice, I think most people are, when they first get there especially, are excited to get there. And then on people's subsequent playthroughs, they don't want to wait anymore. They're just like, oh, I got an idea for what it's going to look like and what I'm going to focus on. So it ends up being one of those good on paper, awkward in practice situations. So that's why it's going to default to override for easy mode players. And we forgot to grab the recruitment clipboard. I think it explains it to you, the clipboard, during the how to HQ objectives. When we skipped, we got the tutorial complete pop-up. At that point, you get an objective to build living quarters, and then you'll get a follow-up one to recruit people. And the one that recruits people, the first objective marker is on a clipboard. All right, so let's recruit some folks.
My back hurts, my feet hurt, everything hurts.
So this was kind of the design of the loop. You go through, grab your best people. You could use the Vitamatic if you want to find out who your best people are. If you use the training plots, because the energy from your departments is all based on the stats of your people. So your generic settlers that are untrained are almost useless, and then your named characters are really great. And a lot of this was intentionally left for people to discover. Like HQ was all meant to be the end game gameplay loop where you just kind of just explore, so, you know, try things out. Let's see. What does Mama Murphy got going on? Oh yeah, 19 strength. No wonder she killed a Deathclaw. So then when we go back to HQ, instead of having 19 facilities energy, because everyone defaults to working at the facilities department, we should have like 30 now. You can see we're starting to trigger some of the cleaning things. And then after a room is clean, its build options will show up. So we'll start seeing some of the living quarters we can build here. All right, so if we pop in here and we go to facilities, we go to construction, and we should just start being able to build any of these that we have enough energy for. So let's see, can we build Aiden's office in the bathroom? That's what we need to know. Yes, we can. There we go. Give Aiden's nice office. Let's see, I guess we could build some exterior defenses here. What else can we build? If I recall correctly, we added a security department desk also in the meeting room because we wanted to make sure that right off the bat, you would get access to one of the desks. I don't think everybody is aware of these. So we put, like, there's the admin desk, and then here is yet another copy of the security desk. And this lets you do a couple of things. One, you can change who the department head is, and there's currently no reason to do that. But we do have planned in the future, we're going to add a department head system similar to the city leaders where there's different perks for having different leaders. So then you would have a reason to want to have different people in that position. I think the unique features here are the assign and dismiss leader and the help department. And help department brings up this to where you can track down different disasters. So if you want to go get involved with them yourself. So like we can go track this disaster, exit menu, and then we should get a quest objective on wherever the heck the fire is. So the departments are set up to automatically deal with the disaster. And basically what it does is it uses up some of their energy for a time. And when you have the override timers on, it'll just use up their energy for a few seconds at a time. So again, it makes it so that when you're playing kind of in easy mode, you can ignore most of those mechanics. You don't have to mess around with the disasters. The departments will take care of them very quickly and it won't become a problem.
What's up?
Let's see here. So like first they would use some energy to take care of the fire, then they use some energy to clean up the ashes. They don't all pop up on your screen because we thought that would be really annoying if you're like running around the Commonwealth and you're just constantly getting these HQ disaster notifications. That would have been really frustrating. So it only happens if you actually hit help department and track them manually. I'm really excited to see Aiden's office in the women's restroom. Oh, we're talking about you, buddy. Here comes your office. I can see it getting built. Oh, is it finished already? Very nice. That's an appropriate door for Aiden. Here we go. That feels like something Aiden would do. He'd get mad at something and just jam a screwdriver in it. All right, and then this is where the security department desk comes into play. Hello, viewer. You watching this series. I am catching you in editing because for once I am ending a series properly instead of just leaving it on a cliffhanger. Generally when I do these Let's Play series, I have no intention of ending them in any particular moment and instead just keep going and going and going, and then one day I stop. For this one, we planned it to be very short because the whole purpose of this series was to show you that Sim Settlements 2 does not have to be an extreme management sim and can instead be a way to add new story and add you some new ways to interact with your settlements and things like that. So this was a short series intentionally. I may extend it once Chapter 3 comes out, as Chapter 3 will have new mechanics which will also have an easy mode to them, and we may bring that back. But otherwise, this series is done, so you've seen everything. If you have additional questions about the easy mode options and the way Sim Settlements 2 plays, feel free to comment below and I'll try to get to those. And if enough of you pile on enough questions about different things, I may extend the series in advance of Chapter 3 to make sure that there's a source for you guys to get that information in hopefully an entertaining format with these Let's Play episodes. So all that said, guys, take care and enjoy the mods.